Hey, what's up, Forum? It's Shaka Khan. I'm bringing you guys a game of Domination on Stadium, and I thought I'd share with you guys a little story I had over the weekend. I thought it was pretty funny. I don't travel all that much, maybe 6 or 7 times a year, and when I say travel, I mean like fly. About 6 or 7 times a year, I fly, so I have some experience with the airport or the airline industries. So I've been around for the ups and downs, but this past weekend, almost everything and anything that could go wrong did. I actually had to be at a wedding last weekend near the campus of Michigan State University. It was actually on the campus of Michigan State University. And as we're going into the terminal, my wife says to me, I think this is going to be a good trip. I think it's going to be good. And for some reason, I don't know what it was, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, no, there's something bad's going to happen on this. I just feel it now. But right when we go to check in, we get a first class upgrade. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm being way too pessimistic about this. Maybe this really is going to be a painless, easy trip. So we get to our gate, we'll get situated, and then we find out that our flight is delayed. And to break everything down, we're flying U.S. Airways. We got to fly out of the city that I'm in to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then from Charlotte to Detroit. So we have a connecting or a layover in Charlotte. And that flight, the flight to Charlotte is delayed. So we're thinking, okay, well, it's delayed so much, we're not going to make our connecting flight. So we talked to the gate attendant and we're like, look, we need to be in Detroit by either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. What can you do for us? He's like, well, we've got nothing with U.S. Airways that's flying out of Charlotte. They're all booked out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make you switch airlines. Your connecting flight out of Charlotte is going to be through Delta. And so that was a headache. That took about an hour to get everything situated. And they had to I mean, one of the biggest things was making sure that our luggage was correctly switched over to that Delta flight. Because it's a big deal. You don't want to show up to a wedding without any of your luggage. So get all that stuff set up. And as we're boarding our plane that takes us to Charlotte, they said they're full up in terms of baggage. Like all the overhead compartments are full, so you're gonna have to check your carry-on bag. So we're walking on this plane with absolutely no luggage at all. And we get to Charlotte, and of course the flight to Detroit is delayed, so we're there a bunch of extra hours. And because we switched airlines, the little upgrade that we had for first class is gone now. So things went from being really great, now they're starting to look bad. So eventually we get onto the flight to Detroit. And it was like things look like they're going to turn around because we get to sit behind the little concession area on the plane. And if you don't know what that is, it's like the area where the stewardesses go to pick up, the drinks and stuff like that. So there's extra room back there, and it's got that wall, so it's almost kind of isolated. I'm thinking, great, we can sit back here and take a nap before or as we fly. But when we sit down, this crazy stewardess lady runs back, and it's like we were kids or something. She was like this evil teacher. She comes like, I'm moving you guys. You're not sitting back here. And she moves us up to the exit row. And then she does it to a bunch of people. She starts moving people up and down. And she's just got this. I wish, it's almost like those scenes you see on the internet where you need your little, the YouTube camera or the little cell phone camera. I wish I could record this because this lady was crazy. And as we get into our seats, there's a couple that sat behind us, and they were also in an exit row. And they were foreign, and they didn't really understand English that well. So she turns to the couple or the wife, and she's like, can you lift 31 pounds? And she didn't really understand, of course, and she's like, no. She's like, get out of this row. You're not allowed to sit in this area whatsoever. Get out right now. And the husband's like, oh, no. She can lift the weight. It's fine. But then the lady's like, nope, this is not debatable. I'm not dying because she's not able to operate the exit door. That's exactly what she says on this freaking plane. And she moves the lady out of the row. She moves her into a completely different area far away from the exit row. And then she was like a Nazi to everybody. She's just running around telling people to turn off their electronics and just, I don't know what it was. I guess maybe she had a stick just rammed right up her ass right before that plane was set to take off. But she was an obnoxious lady, and I wish I could record it. But finally get into Detroit like 6 or 7 hours after when we were supposed to get there. And of course, surprise, surprise, none of our bags are there. Nothing. We don't have any bags there. And we talked to the Delta representative, and he's like, oh, well, we'll find it. We'll get it to you in about 48 hours. It's like, dude, we got a wedding in 12, so that is not working. And he spends a little bit more time working on it. He's like, okay, well, we've tracked it down. We can get it to you in about 12 hours, maybe. No guarantees. Like, that's horrible. That's not going to help us at all. And it's like, well, we walk out. My wife's like, well, why don't we run by U.S. Airways? Maybe maybe they know something that these guys don't. We go to U.S. Airways, and sure enough, it's still with them. They never transitioned it over to Delta, and it's going to be arriving at like 2 a.m. Yeah, it was 2 a.m. in the morning that the plane was going to come in. So we wait to get that to get our luggage at 2 a.m. in the morning. And what happened? Oh yeah. So but the thing is, U.S. Airways is in a completely different building from Delta, and you need a shuttle to get over there. So we waited for a shuttle to go talk to the U.S. Airways guys for about 30, 45 minutes. And finally, we're like, screw it. We're gonna just go take. We're gonna go take one of the rent-a-car things. Maybe they'll take us over there. And as we're going up to the rent-a-car place, the bus driver's like, "Oh yeah, you might want to go get your car now because we close in 5 minutes." So that was really lucky timing. If we had waited any longer, not only would we have not had our luggage at that point in time, we wouldn't have had a car. We would have had to wait till the following morning to pick up our rent-a-car. But the nice thing is, the guy, we told him our story, everything that was going on, and we still weren't sure if we were going to get... at this point in time, we didn't know we were going to get our luggage back, but we told the guy, our story. He's like, oh, it's going to be okay, it's going to be fine. he breaks everything down at the very end of it. Just like, oh, and my name's Jimbo, welcome to Detroit. And it was kind of funny. It just felt like a scene from a movie. So we get to Enterprise, and they hook us up. We tell them our story there, too, and he's like, you know what? Any car on the lot, you can drive it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you paid for this one. Just any car you want. So being in Detroit, I had to get the Chrysler 300. What is that Eminem commercial, exported from Detroit or whatever it is? I had to give it a try. It was a nice car actually. Plenty of room. But yeah, no, we get into U.S. Airways and wait there until 2 in the morning, and then we had to drive another hour and a half to our destination. And so it was a definitely definitely an experience, to say the least. I guess one thing that was kind of cool was at one of the checkout areas, or one of the baggage claim areas, this lady had a dog with an American flag on it, and it turned out that that dog, the woman was coming home from Iraq, and that was her parents, and they brought the dog there, so we had a chance to see her come and see the dog, and that was kind of cool to see. But yeah, that was my story. Everything else worked out fine, but yeah, that was a pain in the ass, to say the least. That's why I prefer to fly Southwest. But let me know in the description if you guys have had any bad travel stories in the past. And like always, take it easy.